Okay, so I was asked to make a video about the BP AKs versus the BSC AKs. The user on my, the commenter basically said that there doesn't seem to be very much recoil and spread to the BP AKs at the moment, especially when they're silenced. So I want to give this a little test for you. At the moment my inventory is full of all kinds of weapons, so I can pull out individual weapons and test them and see what's going on. Yeah, I have a full inventory basically. I can't buy anything else in the store. So let's give these guns a test and see what's going on. So I'm going to tap fire with this. You know how it is against the line. Okay, the tap fire seems to be good. Let's give it a full spray. Reasonable. Now please remember, I do have Advanced Dominator and the usual Tactical Package 1 items. You can also see I have elbow grease equipped, but that doesn't really matter in this situation. I just equipped it recently. So let's try the AK Gold. Spray. Okay, let's switch over to the... We're going to do the BP ones first, and I'll go to the only BSC one that I actually have right now. Although I can test the AK NZ, but obviously that's different. So we're going to go with the AK Urban. Let's go with the AK Red Frog. So here are a couple of comments that I've got to make. The first thing I've got to say is the AK Red Frog kicks like a motherfucker. It just kicks a lot. That's just the way it is. It also doesn't really tap fire too good. I like the gun. I don't know why. I seem to do okay with the gun. I like the gun. But it's not a good AK at all. It's not worth your BSC. It just, in my opinion, it looks very nice. Now, the standard AK, as you saw before, doesn't seem to have very much kick at all if you tap fire with it. If I'm tap firing with it, it's not moving at all. Look at it. And even if I spray, it doesn't actually start to move until, I would probably say, four or five rounds into your clip. Then you will start to feel some recoil effect, but until then you get almost no recoil. So, what am I going to say about this? What I'm going to say is, I am under the assumption that these changes have been made so that when a new player comes into the game, for example, and this is just my opinion, when a new player comes into the game when it's released on Steam, they will go into the store and they may not want to buy a cash item, and they may go, oh, AK-47, I've heard about this gun. You know, I've used this gun in multiple games like CSGO and whatever other fucking shooter they play. It's a good gun. I'm going to use that gun. And then they will be able to use this gun and they will feel it hopefully being very similar to the way it is now here, as you can see. Now, please take into consideration the fact that I do have Tactical Package 1 and I do have Advanced Dominator equipped. That does reduce the recoil. You guys know this. It does reduce the recoil. So please just take that into consideration. Now, do I think that this is bad? Not really. In my opinion, not really. If I get owned by somebody using a normal AK, then nice job, dude. Because you're using a BP gun and you're competing with me, who has a wide array of BSC guns, so you can compete with me. That's good. I have no problems with that. I don't have anything to complain about. When we go on to the urban, we will be able to see with the urban, very similar situation as the standard. And again, very similar. So I would even go as far as saying that this is basically a skinned version of the normal AK. They both seem to perform very similar. Again, very good gun. Now, please bear in mind, when you're moving, it's not going to be exactly the same. That's when you're moving and spraying. Now I'll move and I'll try and tap fire along the line. You can see there is some variation, but it is a good gun if you're stood still. Now also remember, if you're crouched, you have reduced recoil and usually quite considerable reduced spread. Because you're crouched, you're more stable, you're getting a better shot. That's just the way it works. Okay, now we go on to the AK Gold, which I see a lot of people using and getting a lot of headshots and doing very good. So the tap fire on this, as you saw before, let's try a 3-shot burst. Okay, but as you know, once you hold down, after a little while you start to see some spread, but not very much variation. Again, the AK Gold, very good. I see a lot of people who even have AK NZs and things unlocked using the AK Gold, and I can definitely understand why they would do this. The commenter is correct. There is little, not zero, but there is little recoil on the guns. The recoil seems to only kick in, like I said before, after about the 3rd or 4th shot. Then you start to feel the most of the recoil. So as long as you're somebody who will shoot a couple times, as you can see, as long as you're someone who will shoot 2 or 3 times at a time, you're going to have a very good time with these guns. I don't personally believe that they're OP, so I'm sorry if some people think that they're OP. I don't think so. I think the fact that you can get this AK Gold at an early mastery level for a rifle now, it's much easier than it used to be. I think the fact that you can get yourself a silenced and scoped version, which I always use silencers and scopes on my guns. I find that it's very beneficial, especially if you've got a high damage gun, like an AK. I find that it's good. Now I will say on the lower damage guns, you want to take off the silencer because it's going to nerf the damage too much. But on the high damage guns, it's good. I know the video is quite long, but I hope that you do watch it, please. And, you know, I just put these out to help you guys out. You know how it is. By the way, they have made some changes. As a final note, they have made some changes to the BREN. You remember that when I posted about the BREN and I said how OP it was? It's still OP, but now if you move, you take a lot more spread. You can see. Remember in my first video that I made on this, it was pretty much firing straight like this. That was how it was firing with full auto, but now if you go full auto, it does actually spread. Sometimes. As you can see, it's a little unpredictable. That is all I really have to say on it. I don't really think that it's a bad thing. I will keep saying this. If they try and make the BP weapons more competitive with the BSC weapons, I don't think this is a bad thing at all. What I will say is, I wish that they would remove Tactical Package 1 and that they would just have Sub-Zero as, like, you know, that is the way it always is. Or alternatively, I wish that they offered Tactical Package 1 in a BP form. Whether they took out, I think if they took out the Advanced Dominator and just give you Sub-Zero for BP, that would be fantastic. That would be really good for players. Will they ever do that? Only time will tell. So this is the video. Sorry that it's been a little long, but you know, I want to give you information and my opinions on things all the time. The more that they try to balance the BP weapons to the BSC weapons is good. Is it a balance? No. No way is it a balance. But it's a little step in the right direction. What I wish that they would do is they would release like patch notes with more detailed patch information about the changes that they make here, because I feel that the BREN tuning has been changed. So I could be wrong, but I feel that it has, and I've been using the gun since I bought it. And I feel that guns do get changed, and people don't say anything about them. Thank you for watching as usual, and, have a nice day, everybody.